Hello and welcome. My name is Errity Green and this is Wise Women Oracle and Tarot, and today I am bringing you a pick a card reading on a message from your home planet. So I think this will be a lot of fun as well as a meaningful reading. So I encourage you to stick around if you find that you appreciate, enjoy, and or resonate with this reading, that you like, subscribe, press the bell icon. That way you receive notifications every single time a reading pops up. I do, of course, take requests, so you can drop those down below as well. And if you find that you appreciate me or want to find out more about my work and how I can support you, you can check out my details below or at erritygreen.com. So we will get started. I will place a picture up of your 3 card piles to choose from today. All right, so card pile 1, a message from your home planet. So the first message that's coming through is to trust the process. So I feel like you're wanting something to happen, or you're expecting something to happen, or you're aware that something is meant to happen, going to happen, something like that. I feel like this is something personal to you, but may also be bigger than you and more collective in nature. But I feel like it's you sort of waiting for the curtain to drop or something like that. Like you're just waiting for the big reveal, the big kaboom. It's like at a soul level, you're aware of something and perhaps have always been aware of this, even at a subtle level, whether or not you always really checked in with it consciously or thought about it to yourself. But it's like you've always had this knowing and carrying of this knowing that was, again, something that was meant to happen for you, but could also be something collective related as well. And you're being asked to trust this and to just enjoy your life right now as it is. Because there's almost this message that once this thing happens, once this thing goes down, once this reveal happens, whatever that is, it might be more difficult to experience life in the way that you are now. Meaning, oftentimes we wait for something, in our lives. Maybe it's some kind of aspiration, dream, goal, or it could be something as simple as a relationship and or wanting to have a child and or wanting to find our dream career. Whatever those things are that we tend to get really eager about in our human experience. And I think that soul knowing would be deeper, that you just know you're meant to fulfill something or fulfill a purpose. And I think that's more at the soul level what you're seeking. But the human level, right, we have these aspirations, these dreams, these goals. And I feel like what's going to happen in your case is that once that dream or vision or whatever it is, that milestone is met and or realized, you're going to be experiencing life in a different way. You may not have as much downtime as you have right now. You may not have as much privacy as you have right now. You may not have as much space as you have right now. Introspection, reflection, whatever that is, there's something here that's unique about this phase and this season of your life that is worth your exploration and worth your experiencing now before everything else gets going. So as an example, and this obviously is not going to be the case for everybody, but this is an example that landed, so I'm going to share it and you can apply it to your circumstances, whatever that deeper dream or knowing that you have is. It's like, let's just say you become a New York Times best-selling author for the next 3 years. You become an NYT bestseller. Your life's going to look very different than it does now. So you might as well enjoy what you have here before your life becomes something much bigger. Because at that point you have to consider things, and these are all things you're looking forward to, right? So it's not like it's, oh, enjoy it now because it's gonna be hard later. That's not the message either. It's saying each season of our life has its purpose. So enjoy what's here right now. And there's more to come later, and you'll enjoy that when that's here too. But if you are that best-selling author, as the example, all of a sudden you have opportunities knocking at your door every day, probably a lot more emails and phone calls and texts, a lot more people around, a lot more even contracts, agreements, things that you then have to deliver on. So there's more time constraint, more focus, narrowed focus, conservation of energy, at least a focus of where you put your energy. It's just a lot more conscientious and disciplined about how you manage your time, your energy, your resources. So all of that to say, that looks very different than, say, a life where you don't have all those things. People aren't knocking at your door nonstop. You're not receiving 1,000 or 100 emails a day. It's just a very different kind of lifestyle. And so enjoy what you have right now. Experience this version of the dance, so to speak, just to let yourself enjoy this, let your hair down. This is your vacation, basically, until the next phase. So you might as well enjoy it and trust that everything that you are seeking is coming through for you. That's not something that can be taken off the table. It's not something that can be undone. It is inevitable. So you might as well embrace and open your arms up to what's here now. Okay, so let me see what else is coming through here. Message from your home planet. Let's see. I'm just sitting with these cards for a moment. Okay, so yes, that new beginning, that new chapter is coming. Whatever it is that you have sought, I think you've sought this for a while, or you've felt it for a while. And your home planet wants you to know that right now, I feel like you're at the tail end of it, or maybe even leaving that, but you've been through a deep transformation to prepare you for what's coming, to prepare you for this role, to prepare you for this event, to prepare you for this reveal. There's something that's coming, and all the stuff that you've been through the past few years has been in service to this big reveal. It's been in service to sort of prep for the stage of what you are to become or to experience. It's like everything that was happening was a deep transformation to really bring you into your highest self possible, your highest potential possible, your highest actualization possible. It feels very like the reveal word feels really resonant. Transformation feels very resonant. It was to bring you through this really deep healing and evolutionary period so that you would be available for and ready to occupy this thing that's coming up that you already are aware of. Like at a soul level, it's been kind of planted or programmed there, we'll say. Those aren't really sexy words, but I'm sure you can appreciate it or understand what I mean when I say that. And it's like, this is coming for you. Not a worry in the world, but there was a preparation that had to be complete. And you've walked through that initiation. Some of you trial by fire, it feels like. But you've been through this initiation, this purification, and you are on the tail end of this now. So you've been through a deep emotional healing and cleansing. Over the past several years, it feels like you've now entered the physical aspect. It could be vice versa for some of you, where it started with physical, then went into emotional and energetic or spiritual. But it feels like that primary energy that I'm feeling, a spiritual, emotional clearing, cleansing, that's now become the physical. And so you might be more focused on health, diet-related behaviors, supporting yourself, physical movement and activity, but something at the physical health level. And then ultimately it starts being realized in your physical life, environment, and experience. So that's really exciting. So this is your message from the home planet. Yeah. So, okay. So there's a couple things here also coming through in terms of a message from your home planet. And what they're saying is to take the right action. It's like there are right actions for you to take right now. And it's more or less pivotal / crucial. That's not to bring a lot of pressure on you or make anything feel too demanding. But there is a sort of need or an energy here. I'm feeling you being very much nudged towards something, and it does feel like a little bit of a push. So if you've been feeling that recently, it's kind of like those end of the game labor pains. They get stronger and more intense, and those deeper contractions start hitting to really deliver that baby, basically. And it's like getting you moving. It's like you've been like on this marathon sprint, and you're kind of within 20 yards of the finish line. And so it's almost like the universe starts pushing you along. You're starting to get tired, run out of breath, and the universe is like, no, we're going to push you right along here. So you might be feeling that energy. Maybe you haven't been able to put words to it or conscious awareness to it, but that's what's happening. They're really nudging you to take the action, to take the right action. You know what you're meant to be doing right now. Now it's interesting because it's not telling me exactly what that is, because they're trusting that you know and that you do know. And it's funny, card pile 1, if you know that you know that you know that you know, but you haven't been doing it, or maybe you just started and been skirting around it, do let me know in the comments. I'm curious to hear. But it's like, take that right action. You're being guided. This is what you're meant to do. You're asking for this reveal. You're asking for the big kahuna. You're asking where this is and why it hasn't happened yet. Okay, well then take the action. Do the action. Do the action, because it's saying it's requiring this dream, this vision, this milestone, this metric, whatever it is that you are aware of, that is going to be, or sort of is inevitable to be realized. It's a matter of you grounding it. So the more, there's a twofold message here. The grounding happens through your physical action taken in your reality to really support the greater structure for this to be realized, for this to be actualized. But it's also about you getting grounded into your everyday life. So as much as you can bring this integration and healing and transformation and evolution that you've been through into your everyday life. So your life should look different, we'll say, than it did however many years ago. It feels like even 5 for some of you. It might be different. But it's like your life should look relatively different. And if it doesn't, which I feel like it does, where are you not yet taking action? Where have you not yet integrated something? Where have you not yet grounded something? Because this needs some anchoring. This dream that's to be realized, it needs some anchoring into your physical life. That's going to happen through your action and through your integration. So there's that message here of doing the thing, bringing it into form, doing what you said you're going to do. It's like the energy is already here supporting you, so it's just a matter of you not resisting it and doing it. It's like there's no more time for insecurity or second guessing or questioning your worthiness and all that stuff. It's like a lot of that stuff was cleared out, or should have been, in the transformation, that deep healing that you went through. So if any of that stuff is still lingering, it just gets to be a non-issue and you move forward. This energy is very much moving you forward. If anything is coming up like that, it's coming up to be cleared, not meant to be affirmed and given food to through your thoughts. Meaning, like, if an insecurity comes up, you're just letting it go. You're not sitting here keeping it in the mind, in that mental loop where you're just feeding it and giving it life again. It's like anything that's coming up is meant to be cleared. That's why this whole transformation happened to you the last 5 years, or maybe some of you a little bit longer, some of you a little bit shorter. It was bringing all that subconscious gunk to the surface so it could all be removed or cleared or whatever. So that way there would be space for what's coming through here in the very near future for you. Yeah. You can't make it up. You just can't. And I always say that. You can't make it up. You can't make this stuff up. Because take a look at this. I see that self-judgment, insecurity, unworthiness card, and no. Very clearly, like, just no. We're not, no more of that. We're done with it. You know, there's no more, here, let me just sit and, you know, simmer on this, or let me sit here and, like, think about how unworthy I am, or insecure, or small, or whatever. It's like, no. All that stuff was meant to be cleared. If it's coming up now even, it's the opportunity to, again, clear it, say goodbye to it, move on, focus on the present moment, focus on your projects, but putting your energy where you want to go, what you want to create. It's just like a simple no. Like, that's it. Like, we're done with that. It's over. We're done with it. And that's assuming now, though, of course, with the awareness that we have in the context of this reading, which is you've already been through this transformation to clear all that business, so we're done here. It does feel very matter of fact. It feels very like, you know, there's a very clear boundary here, and we're done. So it's like if those things come up for you on this path as you're being nudged along toward that finish line, again, you're not giving it your thought, commentary, any energy from your thoughts. Like, you're just not giving it any, you're not giving it the time of day. These insecurities come up, you're not giving it the time of day. Again, you're redirecting your focus. There is a mental discipline here that is being asked of you. And it's so interesting because it's almost just like a non-issue, like message from your home planet. It's like, this is hogwash, like this is baloney, a waste of your time. Just focus on what you need to focus on. And it doesn't feel condescending or demeaning or degrading or anything like that. It's just like this transformation is, you already went through this, so there's no need to sort of like look back. Now it's time to look forward. So let's see what your final card here is in terms of your message from your home planet. Yeah. So everything that you wanted is coming for you. Everything that you wanted, have asked for, have known to be true for you is coming. It's on its way. Like, how exciting. We might even ask how long. I didn't pull those cards, but we'll see. It's like you're being fully supported. The message from your home planet. Take a look at this beautiful image. You can see how well you're supported. Look at all those sort of ethereal spiritual guides, beings, masters, ancestors, whoever they could be, right? This is, I think it says Council of Light, but whoever those beings are from your home planet, more or less saying you are fully supported. This is going to come through. Like, you have nothing to worry about. We're taking care of you. You know, this is probably easier than you think, but you are wholeheartedly supported, and it's like your home planet is watching you and holding you and cheering you on every step of the way. That's a message of support, of celebration, of, hey, you can lean on us. And there's also this message of it's all coming through for you. Everything about fulfilling your life's purpose, you know, sharing your voice, stepping into your highest calling, greater joy, fulfillment, full creative expression, self-actualization, all that is coming through. It's almost like that, I'm not getting the word that I want, but it's almost like that pinnacle or apex experience of the fulfillment of our highest potential or our highest self, and then seeing that and experiencing that reflected in our reality. That's what's coming for you. So I'm wondering, we'll ask, is it 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years? By 3 years, and some of you might be like, oh man, you know, but I'm just saying, I'm letting you know, and 3 years actually isn't that long at all. But it feels like for most of you, obviously it's not going to be the case for all of you, but if this resonates, within 3 years, you will see your highest dreams realized, that knowing that you've carried likely since childhood, if not before that. So card pile 1, that's your message from your home planet. Everything is on its way. You might as well enjoy your life. Enjoy it this season while it's here. Have faith in this process. You are fully supported. That new beginning is coming. That milestone that you have sought is achieved. It all comes forward here in the next few years. And some of your work is taking the necessary action that you were guided toward to help ground this into your physical reality, cleaning up any loose ends, like tying up any loose ends, really integrating the final pieces of your healing journey. What are some things that you're still being called toward? That's you kind of putting the final details on this craft, or, you know, so that it can become this masterpiece. You're just kind of polishing everything up, getting everything ready for this to land. So card pile 1, I sure hope you enjoyed this reading. Do like, subscribe, press the bell icon. That way you can receive notifications every single time a video pops up. And of course, if you want to get to know more about me, my work, how I can support you, including personal readings, you can check out those details below or at erritygreen.com. Thank you, card pile 1. Okay, card pile 2, a message from your home planet. Okay, you've had some questioning, some doubting. I might even take a drink of my coffee. Today we're doing an endorsement, but an unpaid one from Starbucks. Maybe someday they'll pay me. Doubtful. And that's just really a fun moment. But it's like we're all paying them, but you know, maybe they'll actually start paying me. Unlikely. So, moving forward, you've had some doubts, some questioning, You've had some doubts, some questioning, some sort of lingering, like, is it going to happen for me? Some of you, I also feel this lingering lack of belonging or insecurity around, like, you know, you're not fully seen. Maybe you don't belong here. You haven't found your tribe, your community, your soul family. I'm feeling like different flavors of this energy. Again, feeling that some of you are feeling like sort of left out, wondering if it's going to happen, if it's ever going to happen for you, what's going to come of you, what's going to come of your life. There might be a lack of purpose here, a lack of clarity, a lack of direction. And then for some of you, whether both of these apply or just one or the other, I'm also feeling sort of this, almost like a ready to go home, because you feel like you haven't fully been seen or belong here. However, of course, as I'm sharing that, the message is your work hasn't been accomplished yet. However, I think you're already well aware of that. And so this message from your home planet is asking you to really trust the perfection in your life. Really trust how everything is unfolding. Trusting how everything is landing. Trusting how everything is revealing itself. It's like trusting the unfurling of your life, that it's all bringing you to where you want to go, toward where you want to go. It's almost like this red carpet energy that's unfolding, and it's like, yes, all of these things had to happen to sort of bring you here. And it's not like this is the final end all be all either, because clearly you're questioning it and saying, is there more to life? Why hasn't this happened for me, or whatever? And the message from your home planet is like, well, yeah, but it's still unfolding, right? The story is still being written. The story hasn't even been fully read. It hasn't been fully delivered. There are variables still that are falling into place. And it's like all of this is in service to and preparation for what it is that you're meant to achieve, what it is you're meant to become, who it is you're meant to become. I feel like some of you are in need of some deeper healing at this time. And so, you know, you might be in this phase of wonderment or questioning or whatever, but there is this guidance for some of you, not all of you, but for some of you, do the deeper healing that you're being asked of right now, because this is where you're going to find some deeper answers, some deeper clarity, some deeper wisdom, as well as more focus and direction moving forward. It's asking you to look inward so that you can find that path outside of you in terms of what action to take, or what happens next, or where do I go, or what becomes of me in my life, and is it worth it? Is all of this going to be worth it? And the answer is yes. Your home planet wants you to know that yes, all of this is worth it and is going to be worth it. And especially at the soul level, you're aware of this. Now let's see what else is coming through here. One moment, I'm going to sit here with your cards to see what comes through. I feel like there is a message here to really step into your own power fully and to come into a greater place of personal responsibility and empowerment and start making the necessary choices and decisions and taking the necessary actions to bring about the changes that you seek in your life. It's almost like that energy where I was saying, you know, do I belong here and I just want to go home? A lot of this is because it feels like you're waiting for someone else to save you. Like you're waiting for your home planet to come and get you and beam you up kind of thing. It's like you're waiting for it all just to be over and like, oh, well, I can just go, or like, again, waiting for someone else to do it for you. But the message from your home planet is very much this message of personal empowerment, personal responsibility, taking the necessary action, making the necessary choices and decisions to really bring about what it is that you want. Because once you do this, you're going to find yourself in a greater position to recognize the direction to take, or the focus to give, or the clarity that you seek. It's like you're going to get what you're asking for once you start taking greater control of your life. Once you start being the one to say, no one's coming to do it for me, no one's coming to save me, my home planet's not coming to get me. I am in fact going to be the one who does what needs to be done in order to realize a different result in my life, a different, more positive, favorable result for myself. Now there is a flavor of spiritual awakening here, a deeper spiritual communion, connection, relationships. So for some of you, or for many, a majority of you, what you're moving through right now is also a deeper spiritual awakening, connection, or relationship, like coming into greater awareness of your own soul, of your own spirit, but perhaps even with spirit itself, God, cosmos, God, cosmos, great spirit, higher power, universe, source, creator, goddess, the eternal, whatever it is that you call it, right? Coming into greater communion with that and starting to realize who you are from the inside, as opposed to seeing yourself from the outside, where it's like you see your weaknesses and limitations. You also might see that in others. You're seeing their weaknesses and limitations. You're kind of seeing everything from this lens or filter that really doesn't do you or anyone else justice. So you're coming into your own power. You're recognizing your own soul. You're seeing how beautiful and profound you are. And then as a result, you're able to see that in the rest of your life. And again, you're also making the space for that clarity to drop, for the whatever it is that you're seeking, that direction, that purpose. It's like you're seeking maybe that compass. You know, where's the arrow going? And that's going to come the more you allow this sort of personal transformation, personal responsibility, and spiritual relationship to enhance or to deepen or expand in some way. Let's see what else is here, because I'd like more clarity on this as well. I'm curious for you. So yeah, it's recognizing you for who you really are. So instead of seeing yourself as this lost, confused soul on a hopeless planet, and from, you know, even though you're from galaxies far, far away, like kind of like that hopelessness, self-pity kind of energy. It's like, that's not who you are. Your home planet's like, no, you are not that. You're seeing yourself as that, but that's not who you are. We want you to see who you really are. We want you to see you as your powerful self, as see yourself as what you're capable of. See yourself as your true light, as your highest potential. You're a pillar of light here, and you came here in order to act as such, not to give way or to give in or to succumb to, you know, this level of mediocrity. And not because your life or your experience right now is mediocre, it's saying everything's perfect, but your belief in your mediocrity, your belief in the mediocrity. You guys, I can't talk for your reading. It has been difficult for me, so I don't know what that means. Maybe that means something for you. But there's like a belief in the mediocrity. I can't say it, you guys. Mediocrity of life. Maybe even like the mediocrity of life on planet Earth. Like, what's the point? This is a trash planet. This is garbage. I don't think some of you guys are getting that intense, but I'm just saying it's kind of that feeling though, that flavor, that energy. And it's like, yeah, but that's just your belief, and it's seeing it from that lost, confused, hopeless, self-pitiful energy, when you can be seeing things through the eyes of your authentic self, your true self, your higher self. And so your home planet really wants you to kind of pick up yourself by your bootstraps kind of thing, put on your big boy, big girl pants, whatever, and start really acting as such, acting as if, acting as you are as if you are from another planet who's here to create big waves and changes and transformation on this planet. And if you do think it's mediocre, then here you are. Perfect. It's your job then to make it unmediocre. What will you do about it? So whatever you have a problem with in terms of this planet, your life, humanity, all the ways that you've been wronged, then that's your opportunity to bring about shifts and transformation and healing for yourself and for everyone. So where are those annoyances, triggers, pet peeves? Take a look at those. Okay, then your job is to shift that. Meaning, if you're upset with humanity because of whatever they value, or you think they've all treated you like crap or whatever, then you would embody kindness, right? You're going to be the one to bring about that shift, that transformation, that paradigm shift that maybe the rest of the world isn't honoring yet. But perfect, because you have the eyes to see and you're going to do it differently. So take responsibility and be the one to initiate that change. It's not always that someone else is going to initiate it for you or make it easy for you and that it's just going to happen. Oftentimes when we come here, especially from a different planet, say alien, starseed, whatever you might identify with, we're here to initiate a lot of the changes. It's very rarely going to be handed over to us. We're going to be the ones to do the thing, to lead the thing, to go first. So you're being asked to do the thing, to lead the thing, and to go first. Yeah, you're being asked to stop listening to the voices and the lies, the falsehoods, the egoic limitations, insecurities, second guessing, still can't talk, all the things that get in your way. I feel like you also have maybe toxic people in your environment, and or naysayers or haters or people who don't really value you or believe in you or see you and see your worth and value for all that it is or all that you are. There's just a lot of noise, a lot of distraction, a lot of mess, a lot of lack of clarity, noisiness, clouded, dilutedness. Like, I just feel like it's very difficult for you to see clearly because, again, you're not only listening to your own mental chatter that speaks to your limitations and speaks to the mediocrity of life. Thank God I can say it this time. And I do apologize for whatever is happening with my inability to speak today. But it's like not only your own thoughts and how you treat yourself, but also how the world is and treats you. And take note, these are reflections of each other. So have you yet noticed that the way that you treat yourself is how other people treat you, and how other people treat you is how you treat yourself? So it's, again, recognizing how you can take personal responsibility in this situation and start doing the healing work with yourself, within yourself, so you can also start to see changes outside of you. And it doesn't mean that everyone is going to follow through with that transformation. It means sometimes you're going to be cutting people out. You can call people higher, you can ask your needs to be met, you can set boundaries, and if that's not possible, you see their way out or they see their way out, more or less. And we don't hold on to the people or the things and environments or whatever that are holding us down, that are keeping us limited, that are holding us back. And then we go out and say, oh, well, life has wronged me so hard. And it's like, well, it has, and yet we've also been the ones to perpetuate it. Your home planet really wants to see you shine. Your home planet really wants to see you thrive. Your home planet really wants to see you do the dang thing, but it's going to require you to really take full responsibility for your lives and the results that you have now and the ones that you have later. And again, everything in your life, there's nothing in your life that hasn't been perfect. That's really the message from your home planet. I feel like you might have a lot of ideas around, how you've been wronged or how things have been done wrong to you or whatever. And this doesn't mean that victimization isn't real in the 3D plane. I want to make sure I acknowledge that. This is not a channel, nor am I a person that victim blames. I'm very much a trauma-informed, caring professional. And I was in the psychological field for, I think, 16 years, behavior analyst for 12. My point being is I'm not someone who's going to say there's no such thing as victimization here. With that said, the message from your home planet is that everything has happened perfectly and just so. And you're right on par, you're right on path, you're right on purpose. And you are, now that you are informed and in this space of more consciousness, you're meant to kind of turn this ship around and do the damn thing. So your final message is, yes, or the healing, the grieving, the mourning, the compassion and tenderness with self. Take a look, the initiation. It's leaving all of that stuff behind, leaving the darkness behind, leaving the cloudiness behind, leaving the lack of clarity behind. There's just a lot of heavy energy here, dense energy. Again, things that have been done wrong to you or things that have happened to you. And it's like it's all added up to become sort of like this identity even, or sort of coat and baggage that you carry. And it's like, okay, it's time to walk away from that and reveal the true you. You aren't meant to stay there forever. This was never meant to be your sole purpose, S-O-L-E or S-O-U-L. It was never meant to be your sole purpose. You were meant to reveal yourself. You were meant to clear away and take off this baggage, to drop the baggage, to clear the, take off the outfit, whatever. and really see yourself clearly and step into ownership and responsibility and create the life that you wish you had. Create the world that you wish you saw. This is up to you. Nobody else is going to do it for you. It's up to you, but it's never going to happen sort of wallowing in that old energy, or wallowing in self-pity, or wallowing in disappointment, or wallowing in all the wrongs that have come to you. It's just, nothing's going to change in your life or elsewhere. So as much as you can allow yourself to be held, supported, and if that's not a possibility for you right now, sometimes it's, and I do this with myself, and it's even a new-ish practice for me, meaning the past several years, and continuing to refine it, where I even go in and I talk to myself the way that I wish that I had been talked to as a child, and even the way that I would appreciate now. I tell myself those things, like, everything's going to be okay. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to carry it all. It's okay to cry. You can let go. On and on and on, right? We can tell ourselves those things and reparent ourselves, offer ourselves more compassion, allow some of this energy to be softened, dissipated, released, cleared. There is a message of healing here, but an opportunity of softening, of surrendering, of letting go, of grieving, of crying, of letting the tears fall, as well as perhaps even other people holding tender and loving space for you. Maybe you want that. So there's a message here of healing, ultimately, in order for you to take this full responsibility and move forward and create a life that you want for yourself. So card pile 2, your message from your home planet is that you might be in a space right now of a low. Whether or not this is the lowest of your lows or a dark night of the soul, it's not very clear, but in a low or in the doldrums, something like that, and just kind of wondering if there's more to life, if there's more for you, and the answer is yes. And in order for that to take place, for that to happen, for you to be fully realized, you're going to be the ones to have to take the reins and create the life that you want and create the world that you want to see, that's ultimately going to be up to you. And this is a part of your soul's path and purpose and what you're meant to bring forward. It's going to require some deeper healing, as well as taking necessary action toward the reality, both inner though and outer, that you seek to create. Meaning, some of the things that we talked about earlier, all that thought commentary and getting into that self-pity and all that stuff, there's an opportunity here to be more compassionate with yourself and allow that stuff to be released, as well as an opportunity to take action in the world in terms of like being the change you wish to see, that no one else is going to come and do it for you. And unfortunately, your home planet is not going to come and pick you up. They want you to do what you came here for, and you're supported and you're strong enough to do it. And I feel like you can contact them anytime that you want, whether in the dream state, you've set the intention, in prayer, ritual, outside in the woods, one way or another, whether they come to you actually physically, tangibly, very well may be possible. But it's like they're always there even within, and you're able to access that, and even your own knowing inside if you ever feel that you're alone or you need that guidance and clarity. And that will continually become more easy to access the more that you heal on this path. So card pile 2, if this resonated for you, I encourage you to like, subscribe, press the bell icon. That way you receive notifications every single time a video pops up. And if you want to learn more about me, how I can support you, including my personal readings, you can check out those details below or at erritygreen.com. Thank you, card pile 2. Okay, card pile 3, a message from your home planet. So, you're stepping out of an old way of being, an old way of doing, a previous chapter, and you're stepping into the new. It feels like you've already stepped free, stepped out of this old way. Perhaps you were living smaller than who you really are. Perhaps you were living smaller than the bigness you're meant to actualize and achieve. In some way, in some form, you were living a limited version of yourself and a limited version of your life and reality than what you were actually intended to bring about here. So you have freed yourself from those chains. You've left a lot of that smallness behind. You've left a lot of insecurities behind. You've left a lot of your history that, again, was not going to ever equate to your highest potential. You've let a lot of that go, if not all of it. But you've come to a place of greater self-liberation and actualization, more so than ever before. It feels like freedom. It feels like ease. It feels like simplicity. It feels like a greater self-knowingness. And while it might be new or fresh or like a newly planted sort of or blossom seedling, it's very much real and tangible. You've walked away from something. It doesn't feel like you're at the tail end or in the thick of it or in the middle of it. It feels like you've left this behind. You've very clearly opened up the next chapter in your life, and the message from your home planet is not only this celebration of you, but almost some awe. I feel like a level of awe here of really seeing you in your fullest power, having seen you or witnessed you or observed you, having walked through the valley of the shadow of death, so to speak, when in reality you were less seeing what was out there, but seeing your own demons, and you were faced with them time and time and time again until you sort of slayed every dragon there was and made your way through that valley of the shadow of death, and you've come out on the other side. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, beautiful nature is all around, and it's almost like this beautiful silent stillness of just like everything has opened up, and it's this brand new beginning. And I don't even feel yet a lot of like hustling and bustling and noise and all this stuff. I just feel ease and stillness and simplicity. It's like you've let so much go, but you haven't fully stepped into like, maybe like you've stepped into this new chapter, but perhaps you're not seeing a lot of bells and whistles or, you know, frills and lace just yet, but you're in this beautiful place of having healed, now being more whole, more aware of yourself, more connected to yourself. And it's a beautiful sense of freedom as well. So let's see what else is going on here. Okay, so there's a message here too from your home planet around having walked through this valley of the shadow of death, so to speak. And a lot of this was helping you. There was a healing here, like we mentioned, but I feel like a lot of it, part of the message here was helping you to kind of access greater compassion or expand compassion. This could also be compassion for yourself, but I feel like in one way or another, it was supporting you to step into a greater role of helper, of teacher, of guide, of mentor, of lover, meaning like being able to just love and embody and occupy love. But it really supported you to step into your fullest potential, your fullest expression, what you're here to share, what you're here to do, what you're here to create. It supported you to really step into the role and everything that you came here to do and be. I am going to sit here for just a moment and sit with the other card that's here. I want to see what else wants to come through. Okay, so you're being asked to stay focused, to not, if there is a tendency, which I don't feel like there is too much, but if these old ways pop up again, or old thoughts or old ways of being, just the ways that our smallness can manifest, our lack of belief in ourselves, our lack in our belief of our own worth and value, like when that stuff pops up, you're just going to stay focused on the present. You're going to stay focused on the future. You're going to stay focused on moving forward. It's almost like not allowing yourself to look back anymore and return to those old ways and return to those smallness and default to old patterns. It's very much about moving forward and staying focused on your joy, staying focused on what you love, staying focused on the world you want to create, staying focused on that experience of peace of mind that you love to experience, to embody, to occupy, staying focused on the kind of state of being you like to occupy, reside in, and exude, staying focused on all the things that you love, the people that you love, the kind of experiences and activities that you love, allowing that to be sort of the guiding light or the thread or the anchor or the North Star of moving forward. So it's almost like you've left all that other stuff behind. You have this new chapter opening up. And then what's the next step, the next direction? The message from your home planet is about following your North Star, which is your joy, your love, what excites you about being alive, what excites you about being human, moving toward that, and also recognizing that there's this beautiful embodiment of love and compassion and this role of spiritual teacher or guide or mentor or something along those lines, your fullest expression of potential, however you might identify that or label that, that has come about as a result of this evolution, this transformation with yourself. I'm going to see if there's anything else here that wants to be shared. Again, I keep feeling like a deeper layer and it hasn't become clear to me just yet. Yeah, continuing also to be compassionate with yourself and embody that love as much as is possible. So it's like a part of your takeaway from this whole healing journey, again, which I know I already said, but it's about that compassion, that love, that divine feminine energy. And it's like that's a huge part of your next chapter. So allowing that to sort of be the anchor and the energy that you carry and occupy as much as is possible. When you find you're out of that energy, your job is to do whatever you must do in order to get back to that energy before you move forward again. And I actually just got chills down the whole side of my body, so I'm assuming that's very accurate and needed for some of you, that if you're not in that energy, it's not right for you. and it might not be right for you right now, meaning you always go back to that energy before you start again, before you take action, before you do the thing. It's like the whole point, one of the primary purposes of what it is that you went through was to help you embody more of this energy and to be in this space of love, compassion, of these sort of higher vibrational energies, and this experience of really being connected to spirit, earth, so on and so forth. So like that's a huge part of your work, or your path, or your life's work, or your life path, or your purpose, your mission. And so there's this sort of, in order to move forward, what your focus is from here is to make sure that you're in that energy. And if you find that you're not, then do what you must do to return to it and then begin again. So if that's yoga for you, if that's meditation, if that's going into nature, if that's dropping everything for a day, if it's taking a personal day, if it's taking a break, whatever it is required for you to get back into that energy before you start again, that's your primary thing. It's almost like it's less about work, less about doing the thing, less about fixing the thing, less about action, and more about being able to embody this energy. It's like that's your primary tool, your primary avenue. It's like that's your primary priority. Everything else comes second. Every single thing comes second. So if you can't do that, then don't bother doing anything else. There's this message of, even if you spent an entire day just supporting yourself to get back into that space, that is more productive for you at this point in your journey, at this point in your life, than sort of whittling away at a project or doing all the things, or putting one step in front of the other in order to bring something to fruition. It's like it's way more about your inner work, your healing, your energy work, your spirituality at this point for you than any other thing you can do in your life. This is your primary priority at this time. So yeah, you have two cards here, and I'm going to share them because I find it to be, I just love when it happens, that you have from two different decks, you have the message of trusting yourself. So one of the primary messages here, I feel like, is recognizing the support that you have, as long as you trust yourself. When we don't trust ourselves, it's almost like there's a lack of alignment in being or feeling supported. But the moment, boom, that we decide to trust ourselves, that we believe in ourselves, boom, we're in alignment, we have that support because we believe in it, right? So now it's there. And so there's this message of trusting yourself and thus also being supported. But there's also this message that I'm getting sort of around Earth Mother, Earth energy, connecting to nature. So when we were talking about being in that energy, I think nature could have a role for you, animals could have a role for you, herbs could have a role for you. Is there anything else? And there could be more. You'll have to apply it to your circumstances. But I feel like if you're curious about how to maintain that energy or be in that space, that's one way of doing so. And of course, the message explicitly on both of these cards was about trusting your path. Let's see what else. Yeah, again, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So right now, many of you might be asking yourselves, okay, I've kind of cleared all this old stuff out. I'm out of that phase. I'm out of that chapter. I know I'm moving forward, but I'm not 100% clear on what that is, where I'm going, what I am to do here. It's like I feel that change in my body. I'm experiencing some changes in my life, but I'm really not 100% clear on what that is. And so what it's saying is, if you were 100% supported, if you knew you were supported, what would you do? If you knew you were going to be successful, what would you do? If you knew that it was all going to work out for you and work out in your favor, what would you do? So asking yourselves those questions to help you eliminate a lot of that doubt or sort of wiggle room that can hold you back from getting clear on what it is that you actually want, and instead ask yourself again, if I knew I'd be supported, what would I do? That's the question that's going to guide you and lead your way from here. So the message from your home planet so far being like, okay, you left that old chapter behind, you started a new one. We want you to focus on what excites you, what you enjoy, what you love about living, what you love about Earth. We want you to be compassionate with yourself. We want you to be able to really embody this love energy, this divine feminine energy. We want you to be in that space, that earthy space, connect with nature, connect with the animals, whatever it is that really gets you in that vibe, that gets you in that state of being, state of mind. And then it's asking you from that space, if you were fully supported, what would you do? Yeah, so you're, again, being asked to get into alignment instead of focusing on your head or your mind or practical solutions or what your mind says you should do, all that stuff. It's all about heart. It's all about spirit. It's all about soul. It's getting into that divine feminine energy more than your divine masculine energy. And I'm now even feeling like a lot of that release that you went through might have been release of the divine masculine, and not in a way that it was like, oh, I'm done with the divine masculine. If we already use these terms and labels, they're really constructs. They don't exist actually, but it helps us understand ourselves, and we're always embodying / occupying both energies. But I feel like you might have been the type of person to sort of lean on the masculine, but more so the toxic masculine of workaholism, always doing the thing, always moving, emotional numbness, power and control, and that kind of thing. And a lot of that wasn't serving you. So a lot of the shift was to support you in peeling all of that back so that the inner divine feminine could be revealed to you. That way the old persona or coping or defense mechanisms or whatever they were that were rooted in the toxic masculine could be seen for what they are, released, so that you could fully step into this divine feminine energy and come into your greater spiritual purpose, your greater spiritual role, what it is you are meant to bring forward and accomplish on this planet. And a lot of it is more energy than action. And it doesn't mean you won't take action, because you will. I'm feeling very much that you are meant to build, to create, to achieve something as well, but there's an energetic piece that has to be there in order for this action to matter, to do the work that it's meant to do. You want to be pairing both of them, not again leaning on action but without the energy. The whole point was to bring you to the space of love, of the divine feminine energy, so you can move forward with that as your anchor, as opposed to sort of this ungrounded, disconnected, heady masculine energy. And so you're connecting to the heart of the matter, basically. That's what you're stepping into, and that's the message from your home planet. This is all about heart, and it's about continuing to align your life with what is true for you, with what is right for you, with this new embodiment, with this new value system of being more connected to the divine feminine, of being more connected to those feminine values of home and family, earth and nature, spirituality and community, health and well-being. It's like, if your life, if that's like the crux of your life, and as it should be according to this message here, now that your life is fully aligned with that, well, it's almost like now that you know the energy and kind of tapped into it and have accessed it and embodied it, now it's like beginning to integrate that fully into your life and align your life completely with that energy. And as soon as every other piece of your life is honoring that energy, that's when everything that you're seeking, maybe materially, monetarily, tangibly, physically, starts landing. But the universe, God, Great Spirit, higher power universe, your soul is waiting for you to really land this energy, to integrate it completely before everything else can come through for you, because it's almost like the affirmation or reinforcement, meaning like if it's not waited for, and if they were just to hand deliver you everything that you want, you would likely lean back into your old ways of toxic masculine to continue it, to sustain it, to maintain it. And it's no, this has to be fully integrated, mastered, occupied, integrated, whatever, in order for you to fully hold everything that is to come, and do so from that place of your highest integrity, from that divine feminine energy, from that place that you wanted as a soul to make sure that you learned and embodied here on this planet. So your number one priority is that divine feminine energy, and whether you identify as man or woman is really irrelevant, because the divine feminine energy in this case, again, represents a lot of those feminine values like we shared, and love, compassion, how we feel when we're embodying spirit or connecting to spirit, or deepened our relationship with spirit or our spiritual practice. Yeah, so what happens? Look, as soon as, okay, that moment you integrate this makes me so happy for you, because take a look. You're still in the process of aligning it all with divine feminine energy, with those feminine values. And you've been seeking something, perhaps some results, but it was never going to come by way of that old toxic masculine energy, or some of that smallness, insecurity, shadowy energy, and victimhood, and things like that where you were holding on to. And again, this is a channel and a person, by the way, that's 100% trauma informed. Victimization is very real in the 3D planet, and it is something we can carry with us, identify with, and then own, and it becomes victimhood, such that we're unable to sort of leave it behind and experience all that we came here for. So you've done some incredible clearing out in order to relieve yourself of a lot of that energy. You've now stepped into more divine feminine energy, and what wants to be integrated now is that, but into all layers and aspects of your life, and not in an ungrounded way where it's like you're sort of talking about it and you value it and it means something to you and you kind of jump into it here and there when you can. Like that's not, and then like that's not what it is. They're asking you to fully ground it, like bring it down to the level of the ground, to where your life is built upon the divine feminine energy. Love is the most important. Relationships, community, connection, health and well-being, spirituality, community, like all of those pieces that we already talked about, fully grounded, rooted even deep, deep, deep down into the sediment of your life. And that's, boom, when you start to receive what it is you have sought. Okay, this could be your greater legacy, your greater spiritual destiny. This could be something that you have sought personally, but also at the soul level. It's something that maybe you're meant to bring forward or bring about, a contribution of sorts. But it does involve obviously some receiving, because that's the card that we have here. But what needs to come through is that final integration in whole, in sum, of this divine feminine energy. Not like here, there, maybe, sort of, but like 100% devoted to that. And what happens? You're able to fully achieve that dream, that realization of your highest self, your highest potential, your greater destiny. And what it says here, you might very well be Pleiadian, because this came up for you. Your home planet could be Pleiadian, Arcturian, something within the Pleiades star system. But it says double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. So as all of this is sort of percolating and coming into being and being integrated and rooting in your life, remember, Divine Feminine is your number one priority and your number one focus. It's part of your mission here from the Pleiades is to bring forward the Divine Feminine energy, is to shift the value system on planet Earth, is to create new systems and structures that are founded in this energy and this value system. So if you're operating in the old way but saying that you are for this new way, it's out of integrity, it's dishonest, and it's not true, and they're in opposition to each other. So it can't even create what you're saying you want to create. So in order for you to actually do the work of bringing forth the Divine Feminine energy, which is why you came here, to bring about that balance on planet Earth, you have to be balanced and integrated fully yourself, which means for you, it's been primarily an overhaul of your energetics between your masculine and feminine, relieving a lot of that old toxic masculine and integrating, embodying, and grounding, rooting that Divine Feminine energy in all layers, aspects, and levels of your life, of your body, of your embodiment and your experience. And then what comes forth, not only do you begin to support the greater Divine Feminine awakening that's happening on this planet, you start supporting the shifting of global systems into where it's meant to go and how things are meant to be realized during this time period, during this era, like everything you came here for. So you support the moving of the needle at the level of global change, but you're also coming into your greater divine destiny, your soul purpose, your soul mission, which one was to bring forth more of that Divine Feminine energy and essence, but it was also to do that at the personal level. It likely is going to have something to do with channeling and uplifting of humanity. So you might be someone that not everyone is going to connect with these labels. Obviously you have to apply it to your circumstances, your conditions, but channeling, so you could be someone who's speaking, communicating, writing, teaching, sharing on social media, becoming an influencer, having some kind of role in a service-based profession, counselor, healer, body worker, energy worker, shamanic practitioner, online coach or healer, online entrepreneur. It could be any one of those things, and a number of, but it'll likely have something to do with your voice, with communication, with wisdom, knowledge, teaching, as well as uplifting humanity, which happens through that Divine Feminine embodiment, being able to support the world, the people that you interact with on a daily basis because of the energetics that you hold. Because of who you are, for the energy that you occupy. Some of you may very well, I'm going to mention this because it's coming through, that some of you may very well have a channel like this. Perhaps you're doing online card readings, perhaps you're doing something else online, a social media presence, but for some of you, I do feel something online, like a channel and or some kind of influencer role or something on social media to support you with more global reach and impact. So your message from your home planet is all about stepping into your divine duty, mission, purpose, and potential, which is primarily about the Divine Feminine awakening and supporting that shift on this planet. So in order for you to do that, you have to make that shift at the individual level first and foremost, and really prove to yourself and be in integrity that you can do it before you go out there preaching it, basically. And so you're going through that overhaul right now in your life, having cleared a lot of the old energies. You're now aligning your life to really honor and align with that Divine Feminine energy. And then what happens as a result is that you fully step into your highest potential and your greater spiritual destiny, and even step into that role of teacher, leader, healer, mystic, priestess, whatever, where you are actually communicating, maybe even channeling, have some kind of social media presence and or service-based profession where you are actively helping people and supporting them at an individual level with this shift as well. So amazing reading for you, card pile 3. I'd love to hear from you. Of course, if you find that you like this reading, I encourage you to like, subscribe, press the bell icon. That way you receive a notification every single time a new video pops up. And if you want to learn more about me and my work, how I can support you, including personal readings, you can check out those details below or at erritygreen.com. Thank you, card pile 3.